I'm John at HCE. Let's go install our 51R battery hold down and disconnect switch on this amazing EG hatch. To install the battery hold down and disconnect switch on this EG hatch, the first thing you want to do is remove the negative cables from the battery. We started by removing the negative here, and then we removed the J hooks that hold the battery hold down. You're going to need basic hand tools for this job, just a 2.5mm Allen, a 10mm, a 12, and a 10 in box end helps a lot. And if you have a little driver like this, it really speeds things up for your Allens. To install the cables, you're going to want the switch facing the front of the car. And this is just how I do it. Your car may vary. You may have a different way of routing wires that works better for you. But you're just going to want to mount the lugs facing just like this, and put your lock washer on there. These are 12mm nuts. It's best to get these put on loosely first, just like that. And then if you have room, you can use your 12mm socket. Sometimes these are a little tricky to fit in here, and sometimes they fit. So this one fit pretty nice. So just snug this down. You don't want to over tighten these because you can damage the switch if you do, but just do enough to make the lock washer crush. This is the cable for the negative that goes to the battery terminal. And that goes on the left-hand side of the switch when you're looking at it. For the other ground cable, you mount it in the same way. Just put it on here. Get your lock washer. And then your 12mm nut. And then use your 12mm to tighten it up. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. But there we go. In case you did not know, most people prop the hood up right here, but on older Hondas, a lot of the time, there's also a place that you can put the hood prop here, and that's good for installing these switches because it gives you a lot more clearance to get the J hooks in. When installing the J hooks, you're going to want to install the J hook into this slot right here. And just like this, put the J hook down and turn it to your left and pull it up so that it hooks right there like that. We're going to do this on the back side of the battery first, and you're not going to be able to see that, but it's the same thing. There's a slot just like this on the back side here. So you're going to put it in, twist it, and pull it up. For the next step, you're going to want to put this cable down here and the negative cable for the battery, have it come up to your left right here so it's out of your way. You're going to want to hold the J hook with one hand, get it started, get it to poke through the mounting hole on the tie down just like this. So get your 10mm nut and get it started on top of the J hook here. Just like that. Once you have it started, you can let it go because the J hook will not fall down now. Once you have the J hook secured and started in the back of the battery, move to the front, get it secured in the slot down here. Make sure the threads are coming up through the hold down. You can hold it with one hand down here so it doesn't fall. Get your other 10mm nut and just get that started, and that'll hold it in place. And now you can position the hold down exactly where you need it. Another way you can install the J hooks that may be easier for you is just to thread the nut the 12mm nut onto the J-hook first, just a couple threads, just so it doesn't fall off. Then tuck your chassis negative down here, bring your other one up here to the left, and then you can just drop the J-hook down the back here into the slot, and then just give it a little twist, and then you can tighten up the 12 by hand the rest of the way. Next, you're going to want to grab your 10mm ratchet. Make sure the switch is in the off position. Put the negative terminal onto the battery and tighten that down with your 10mm. Make sure the cable is tucked down right by the strut tower mount here. Get it tucked down between that and the battery so it's nice and clean looking. And then just tighten this up with your 10. Make sure this is nice and secure. Next, we're going to install the negative to the chassis. On this car, we have the strut tower bar, which is in the way. So we're going to route that around the positive harness right here, around the strut bar, under that cable, and this will mount to the factory ground location right here. If your cables are a little tricky to get routed that way, they are malleable, so you can give them a little twist and get them to fit just right. Now we're going to use our 10mm to secure this negative cable to the chassis. You're going to want to get these started by hand first and make sure that they're not cross-threaded, because it is easy to do that. And you're not going to be very happy if you cross-thread them, so please just make sure you do it by hand first, like this one. And once you get it threaded in pretty well, then you can use your socket, 10mm, and just tighten it up. Don't crank down on this very hard, and make sure that the surface is nice and clean so you get a good connection. Next, you're going to need to get your tie down centered just right. I think earlier I may have said that these were 10mm nuts, but they're actually 12s. So get your 12mm socket and just start tightening down the 12s right here. This will hold your battery nice and tight. Once you have the battery secured with the hold down and the J-hooks, those are 12s, you're going to want to put the top plate on. Just goes right over the switch. Line up the 3 bolt holes and get them started by hand as well. They might be a little bit tough to get started at first because of the coating, but just get them started. Last one. Now use your 2.5mm Allen and just gently tighten them down. Perfect. And there we have the finished product. With the switch in the off position, the entire car is going to be disconnected from the battery. And we'll go show you that by turning the key. So the entire car will be dead, no dome lights, anything. So if you have a parasitic draw, this is what will solve that problem while your car is in your garage. We are inside the EG right now. Let's put the key in and test that everything is off. Ignition 2. Nothing, no beeps, no lights, nothing. The entire car is disconnected, and that is saving your battery. Let's go back to the on position and go see if everything works properly. Okay, now with the switch in the on position, let's put the key in, go to ignition 2. Everything works as normal.